All right, Shane. Hey, let's jump it on down. Let's move this thing along. Ole Miss defends the home turf over Vanderbilt 31-17 in one of the ugliest games of the weekend here.
Ugh.
The point spread was 36.5 points. Ole Miss never even got to 36. Vanderbilt showing signs of life on offense, but Matt Corral in the offense making mistakes left and right. And he announced prior to this game, it's going to be his last game. He says farewell to Oxford and all the memories there. He's going on obviously to the NFL at the end of the season. But I think, Shane, this was a classic look ahead to the Egg Bowl, and you just came off the big Texas A&M win. We probably should have seen this one coming, but that's kind of more or less what I'm reading into this one. I don't think this is, Ole Miss overrated. Hell, they're number 8 in the country, but credit Vanderbilt for not giving up. But this was a ugly, ugly performance here by the Rebels, and in my mind, that's why the game was so close.
Well, Mike, as you know, this was my lock of the week as I put $100 on this. And I ain't gonna lie, there was a moment prior to this game. I'm officially putting the money in for this bet, right? I know I told you I'm not going to wait, but I was waiting on this one. And it got closer and got closer. And then I started thinking, I was like, can they really score 36 points more than Vanderbilt, And I'm looking, I'm like, but what, they did it against Tulane,
Mm-hmm.
Then I started having these doubts, but then I was like, nope. I told the listeners that this is my lock of the week. Even I was talking myself out of it, Mike, and I could have not made the bet and just went on, but I said, nope, I'm going to put it in there because, this is going to be for the Heisman. That's what Matt's playing for today. This is for the Heisman. This is for Katy Perry. This is for anybody and everybody that's an Ole Miss fan out there. And it did not work out well. I think the Heisman race got picked off there in about the fourth quarter by a Vanderbilt linebacker. And I'm going to tell you one thing about Vanderbilt, brother. I've watched a lot of games this year with Vandy, and this by far was the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides of the ball, offense, defense. I mean, we can sit around and we can blame Ole Miss for falling short, but the reason that they fell short was because Vanderbilt was playing some serious football out there, which is a great sign if you're a Vandy fan. I don't know. I think we saw a few players emerge this week. They actually got some talent on the outside. We had some weapons emerge on the offensive side. So kudos to Vandy for hanging in there. And Ole Miss, yeah, maybe they did overlook them. Maybe we were just reading their press clippings and, signing up and handing out. There's a video a few years back, and I can't remember which team it was, but it was a losing team of a national championship, and they were taking the shirts back, and then they ship it off to like Africa to, these countries that don't have clothes and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I was just thinking about all that Heisman propaganda just getting shipped right on out, because Matt ain't going to get it, brother. He just ain't. He lost it during this game.
Yeah, without a doubt. 1 of 8 on third down, 0 for 1 on fourth down. And Vandy wasn't much better, brother. 9 of 21 on third down. There was a lot of tough football to watch on Saturday. You know what?
Yeah, but I will tell you, that little Pierce kid for Vandy, I think we got to mention him. 10 receptions, 113 yards. He was Vanderbilt's offense. He was able to keep them going at times. And, it wasn't a great game for Matt, but, I mean, the guy still put it on his shoulders. I mean, I guess that's what a Heisman does. He had a couple touchdowns. He still did it on the – I don't know what's going on with the running game. They kept talking about it during the game, Lane Kiffin getting on the mat. I don't know if that's true or not, but it does feel like I'm not saying Matt is not as good, but it does feel like sometimes if the running is not a threat from Matt, that he's not the Heisman candidate we've put on this pedestal. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I see what you're saying.
I mean, peak Matt Corral was running for 200 yards against the University of Tennessee. And we're talking about, okay, this is a guy that can win a Heisman. But you take that part out, I'm not saying it makes him one-dimensional, but it does kind of make this team a little bit more one-dimensional, and I think that hurts Lane Kiffin. So I get why we're trying to keep him healthy because he was banged up, but I think that was the real problem here was just health, man. He lost it in Auburn, and he got hurt there at the tail end of the Tennessee game, and after that, he's just not been the same.
Yeah. And now you got to play a lot better than this going into this Egg Bowl. You play like this, you're gonna get whooped in Starkville. You know what?
Oh, this is going to be a damn game, Mike. I'm telling you, brother. This is poor man SEC championship right here. If you ask me, I'm looking forward to this one because and we'll get to it here in a little bit. But man, Thanksgiving, you cannot beat this game. I've never looked more forward to an Egg Bowl than I am this year, brother.
Yes, sir.
Matt announced last night that this is obviously his last game here. Can you just talk a little bit about what he's meant to this program over the last couple of years?
A ton. I think that I get a lot of credit for, coming in here and what's happened and the change and the wins and losses and all that stuff, compared to where it was before. And I would argue that he deserves more credit than me for that as the head coach versus the quarterback because, this guy is there when I'm not even in there and summer workouts when we can't be there and 6 a.m.s and all that. And I think he's had a lot to do with changing the mindset of people around here. And I think we've helped him with that. I think he kind of has taken over for us. I went in the locker room afterwards. I took a few minutes before to figure out, okay, am I going to go in like I would if this was in the middle of the season and rip them and say, well, we're not supposed to play Vanderbilt this close the way Vanderbilt was this year. And, I kind of came in and said, all right, I'm not going to do that because I do it too much to them. And it was really cool. Matt had the offense over before I got there, and he was basically doing what I wanted to do and ripping them from up and down. Said, don't you guys dare go out tonight. Don't do anything. That's embarrassing how we're playing. This ain't going to happen again because if we do, we're going to get our ass kicked next week. So that's pretty cool when a player takes over doing what he knows you were probably going to say. And so that was good. I kind of went more on just the accolades of senior day and winning and undefeated season and those things and program turnaround for these guys, and grateful to the seniors for that. So pretty neat to see.
Looking ahead to next week, of course, it's the Egg Bowl against Mississippi State. You're able to be a part of that last year. What did you take away from that game last year, kind of getting you prepared going into a hostile environment on Thursday night?
Well, I think it's different, with the COVID aspect, so there wasn't really a crowd element that way. So I don't know. I know I'm not diminishing rivalry games, but everyone says you're supposed to treat them different and do all this different stuff, and I've just never been around where you do that. You don't all of a sudden practice more or try harder. That's not how we do things. We try to get to 1-0 every week. So I know you want to hear that, we're going to do some magic thing this week because we're playing Mississippi State, but we just got to prepare really well.
Over 450 yards of offense against the number 12 team in the country. How do you strike the balance both in terms of like conversations, what you say to the team after the game and maybe in practice this coming week, as well as, when you evaluate the tape and all that sort of stuff? How do you weigh, and strike that balance between maybe your team is improving late in the season, but at the same time, it's still a loss?
Well, no matter the results of the game, we always, by the time we're looking at it on Monday, we're just pulling the learning from it to apply it moving forward. Obviously, yardage isn't the goal. There are performances that will highlight that. We had guys step up and make plays, and again, I think it's like for us, we talk all week about a plan to win, a path to win, and us moving the ball on offense obviously is a part of that plan to win. We're not surprised when we do that. That's the expectation. I think for us, it's more looking at the times when we stall out or we, again, self-sabotage with procedural penalties, and fixing those issues. This team has gotten better through the course of the year, I think, in tangible ways, and then in ways that are internal, ways that are in our locker room that the team knows, but maybe that no one else does. You see, it's a high character team. It's a team with a lot of fight in it. But this is a team that's desperate to win, and we get one chance to do that here at the end of the season. We're gonna put everything on the table this week to go out and fight for that outcome that we want. Again, going back on the road in conference, which is an awesome thing. So, we have a lot ahead of us for the positive and a lot to build off of, but this is going to be about how we put everything on the table to get a result this week.